All right, big test. 1 2 1 2. All right, big test. 1 2 1 2. All right, we're good. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man Lincoln Clay, and we are back for a live stream. We will be jumping into LeMans Ultimate here shortly. I'm just going through my checklist and getting ready to fire up the VR headset and jump into the game. And while we are in the game, I wanted to talk about a subject this kind of caught fire the last couple of days, and that is the rumored next iteration of Xbox. So we will put on the headset, get into that. Also, let me make sure that the audio is is good. All right, because we know these stupid updates break things or set them to default. We're good. Let's see here. Oh shoot, this controllers are gonna go weak here soon. Yep. Got the notification that the battery is low on the controller. All right, so let's go ahead and boot up LeMans Ultimate for some background.
Eric McCready said, "I wasn't gonna say nothing," beaming face with smiling eyes.
How's it going, Eric? But believe me, when you're streaming and you're using two PCs and you're streaming in VR, the checklist is very long, and it's easy to miss something, especially when an update comes out and breaks one of your apps or resets it to default.
Craig the tech guy said, "Is this Mass Effect?"
No, Craig, but I have spent massive hours trying to figure out some of the things that I was having some PC problems, and yeah, that's one of the bad things about PC gaming. When something goes wrong, it can take days to troubleshoot it. Nah, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. So, opens in 35 minutes. If it lets me join practice, we'll go in here and then we'll just park it so I can talk about the subject. Okay. We'll just go ahead and leave it at that. So as I was saying that there was rumors about the next iteration of an Xbox, and it has stirred up quite the buzz. So according to what's being said, this new Xbox would be a console/hybrid, basically a PC, with a console interface, user interface. Okay, that didn't really sound like that. You know, it didn't really sound like that big of a surprise. It seemed like something that was going to happen sooner or later if it hasn't already happened yet. You know, like I've never seen the Steam box, but I'd imagine, you know, maybe the Steam box worked something like that. And I think it's rumored that Steam is working on another console, which I'd imagine would be like a hybrid console slash PC. So the Xbox One, the Xbox hybrid, it really didn't, you know, it really didn't click with me. I was like, whatever, you know, it doesn't apply to me. I'm not gonna get it. I got 4 PCs, a PlayStation, an Xbox. Why would I need this hybrid? Especially given that I'm not a big fan of Microsoft. Well, so the big buzz going around was that this Xbox would have the ability to add storefronts, GOG, Epic Store, Steam. And that's where the big buzz came from, because that would mean that users of this new Xbox would have access to Steam games, and in turn, they would have access to the Sony games that are already on Steam. So when that started becoming the big buzz, I started thinking, okay, so this is Microsoft's plan to try to circumvent Sony's ecosystem and give their players a way to play PlayStation games without having to get a PlayStation. And I said, okay, that's still no big deal anyway, because, I mean, you can do it right now by simply having a PC. So I really didn't see what such a big deal was about it. But then yesterday and today, the big talk was about whether Sony would legally block.
T-Hammer said, "Hey there, bud.
How's it going, Hammer? Hammer time." So there was big talk about whether Sony would block the ability for these games to be played on this new Xbox. That stirred up quite the buzz. And then I started thinking, okay, this Xbox hybrid allows you to play games, and I guess like inability to playing the Steam, Epic, GOG. In addition to being able to play those games, you would be able to bring your library over to that Xbox and play your Steam, Epic, GOG games from that Xbox. So it's basically be like a all-in-one device. A true all-in-one device. And so I thought, you know, okay, what kind of impact would that have on PC gamers? What kind of impact would it have on console gamers? Hell, what kind of impact would it have on developers? Theoretically, it could have an impact on VR gamers and sim racers. I mean, anybody who plays games on console or PC, it could affect them. So I do have a couple of question marks about this hybrid Xbox. If these questions were to be answered, this thing could be a slam dunk. Microsoft could actually knock it out the park with this hybrid Xbox. The first one would be backwards compatibility. Currently right now, like when the Xbox Series X and the Series S came out, Microsoft had already said don't expect any games at launch. So their marketing for these new consoles were backwards compatibility. And I was thinking to myself, why the fuck would I pay $500 for the ability to play old games? That was my thinking then, but now, shit, I want to go back and play those old games. For one, you know, some of those games are classics, and two, a lot of today's games are not, they're just not my cup of tea. So, and it may sound like I'm going off the tracks, but I'm not. One day, my son said, can you take me to the store so I can get an Xbox Series S? I asked him why. He said, I want to be able to play the old Gears games, 1, 2, and 3, at 60 frames per second, and according to what he had found out, they run at 1440p on the Series S and 4K on the Series X. Okay, we get out, we go looking around, we can't find a Series S, so we end up getting a Series X. We bring it home, plug it up, and I'm not gonna lie, look good. 4K 60, PC type sharpness, ran buttery smooth. My son was up all night, and I'm the one who brought my son into that Gears of War world. So we play that game, we play those games together. So I turned around and went and got a Series S, and the games look pretty good. So reason why I gave you guys that long story, there are 360 games that I own that I can still play through backwards compatibility on my Series S. You know, the original Gears 1, 2, and 3. The last Fight Night that EA produced. The original Red Dead Redemption. And needless to say that the multiplayer is still live on that old game. On the 360 or Xbox One or whichever way you may be playing it. It's still live. The only catch is that the game runs at 30 frames per second. So this new Xbox PC/hybrid, if they allowed you to play all the games from Steam, Epic, GOG, and still allow you to go back and play those old 360 games through backwards compatibility, that right there that would be huge. The other thing that I think could be huge is if it allows you to play Steam games, because it's basically a PC. Theoretically, you might be able to use VR on this new Xbox. One such case would be the PlayStation VR 2, since they have come out with the PC adapter that allows you to use it on Steam. Theoretically, if this new Xbox/PC were to have a display port, theoretically, you should be able to use the PSVR 2 headset on this new Xbox unless Sony encrypts it not to work on that headset. But I would think that if they can't legally block the games on Steam, then the same might apply with the headset, that they may not be able to block it. I don't, if they're going to use Steam. So that in itself would be huge, and not to mention that Microsoft does have a partnership with Meta/Oculus, whatever you want to call them these days. One is they were coming out with an Xbox theme Quest 3. Now it does not allow you to use play VR on the Xbox. All it is a Quest 3, this Xbox theme. You know, the Xbox colors, the Xbox logos on it. The other partnership that Microsoft has with Meta is the ability to play your games from the cloud on your Quest 3. So you could play your Xbox or Game Pass library if you have Xbox Ultimate. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can play your games on the cloud or through the cloud onto your Quest 3. And it basically would look like you're playing your games on a giant theater screen. So it's not VR. It just gives you the ability to play your Xbox games on a different device. And like I said, you wouldn't be in VR. You would be playing on a giant theater screen. Well, the point being is that being that Microsoft does have a partnership with Meta, it is not too far gone to believe that you could essentially put the Meta PC app onto this new Xbox. And if it has wireless capabilities, you could possibly buy a Quest 3 or a Quest 3S and play it wirelessly on this new Xbox. That would be game changing right there. So my biggest question mark about this new Xbox is, let's say, because it's an Xbox property, are you going to be required are you going to need Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass Core, as it's called these days? Are you going to need that to be able to play games online? So to be more specific, will you, if you go into the your Steam library on this Xbox and play one of your multiplayer games through Steam, would you still be required to have Game Pass Core in order to play those games online? I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to do that, but I think that would seriously affect sales of this new device if they were to do something like that.
Gamertag VR said, dude.
Gamertag VR, my God, my British brother from another mother. How you doing? So yeah, I mean, theoretically, that would be a game changer to have wireless VR on this new Xbox, or the ability to possibly use PSVR 2 on this new Xbox Pico. Theoretically, it sounds like it should be feasible. Now, let's start with how this affects developers. I think this would be huge for developers, because with this new Xbox hybrid, they would no longer have to go to the console.
Gamertag VR said, there's a new Xbox.
Yeah, that's what I'm speaking about, Gamertag, and I'm speaking of the possibilities of adding storefronts to this new Xbox. And now I'm on the subject of talking about, theoretically, would you be able to, if you were to do it through Steam, would you be able to use a VR headset on this new Xbox? I think, and then once more, would you be able to do it wirelessly through AirLink or something like that, you know, with the Quest 3 or the Quest 3S? If you were able to do something like that, that would be a game changer. Would mods be allowed on this new Xbox? But coming back to the developer thing, we'll use this game as an example right here, LeMans Ultimate. They have been asked numerous times if they plan to bring this game to console. The initial answer was they would like to bring it to console. They said that the game will run on consoles and it would be able to take advantage of the PS5 Pro. But they were looking for a partner to do that venture with them, so they don't want to eat the entire cost of porting these games to a console, because I'd imagine it's probably going to cost a lot of money. With this new Xbox hybrid, they would not have to go to the console. The console comes to them. If this Xbox hybrid is essentially a PC, they wouldn't need to port this over to the Xbox, because they're already playing it through PC on this new Xbox. That would probably save them a ton of money. So they would only have to make the game for the PC, and it would still be playable on this new Xbox. For the gamer, I think that would be huge for somebody that might, I don't know, let's say maybe they're playing Halo on the Xbox, and then after they get done with that, they jump straight over on Steam and then load up Counter-Strike 2. That would be huge. You wouldn't have to jump from the device to device. There was something else. That I was going to mention about. I know what I was going to do. I had planned on moved on to a device. What would such a device cost? I think it all depends on how much power this thing has. Currently, Digital Foundry originally said that the PS5 Pro has the power of a 4070, and they ended up walking it back and said that it had the power of a 4060, which basically a 4060 is basically a 3070. I have said numerous times, because I've got 4 PCs, so I've tested all of them. I feel that in order to have a decent experience across the board in VR, you would need at least a 3070 Ti. To play all VR games, be able to play racing games and simulators in VR, I think you would need a minimum of a 3070 Ti. I think a 3080 Ti would be ideal, but a 3070 Ti would be the minimum. That being said, I would be led to believe, especially since once upon a time Microsoft said they would not be outdone in the power war again. And coming back to the PS5 Pro having the power equivalent to a 4060 Ti, I would be led to believe that Microsoft with this new Xbox would probably make it have the power equivalent, in my opinion, probably a 4070 Ti 30, and a 4070 Ti, in my opinion, is about the equivalent, as far as the 3000 cars goes, it's about the equivalent of a 3080, maybe a 3080 Ti. If this new Xbox had power equivalent to a 4070 Ti, you would be pretty much covered across the board. You'd be able to play any game at 1080p 60, presumably any game at 1440p 60, and I think especially older games, you would be able to play just the majority of them at 4K 60. These new games I'm not so sure about, because these new games are quite demanding, but they do not have the graphics to justify the GPU appetite. So, but yeah, with a 4070 Ti, that would be enough. Again, it would be enough power to run just about any game up to 4K 60, and if it has VR capabilities, it would have enough power to run the majority of VR games. That would be all in one. Now, what would such a device? What effect would it have on Sony, assuming that they are not able to legally block games from being on Steam on this new Xbox? That would really, in my opinion, I think it would kind of force their hand. They're still going to get their money, but if Sony would be hell-bent on the competition not being able to play their games, I think what Sony would eventually do is I think they would probably create their own PC launcher and create their own PC storefront, and they could possibly snatch all of their games off of the Epic Store and Steam and put them all on their own launcher. The problem with that is they would miss out on a lot of money, because somebody said it before, a video that I watched. I'm not gonna mention the person's name. I mentioned it before, but I'm not gonna mention it this time. This person said, if I heard them correctly, that Sony made like $860 million off of PC alone. Sony is not gonna let that kind of money get away, especially with the situation that they're in right now. I'm not gonna go as far as these Xbox people go and say that Sony's broke, yada yada yada, because I don't think they're broke, but I do think that Concord failure and the Bungie acquisition, we're looking at about almost $4 billion. That's quite a hit, and I'd imagine Sony's probably want to get that money back each and every way they can. And so yeah, Sony could possibly create their own storefront and PC launcher, but I don't really see them pulling their games off of PC. They're probably getting too used to that PC money. Not to mention that over on the PlayStation side, their exclusives do not sell like gangbusters like they did back when there was Detroit Become Human and God of War and Death Stranding and what else did we have? The Last of Us, those games. Like this generation, I think they got off to a one hell of a start this generation with Miles Morales. But I think other than that, I don't think their games have really sold like gangbusters. So I don't really see them taking their games off of Epic and Steam, what have you. So I think that's all I can think of right now. When I was at work, I mean, my head was all over the place about the possibilities of how this could affect developers, gamers, hell, sim racers. Hey, you could play Forza Motorsports on this Xbox hybrid. Well, you could play it on PC anyway, but to make my point, you could play it on Xbox and then turn around and boot up Steam and then turn around and play this game. And you wouldn't have to have an Xbox and a PC. You have them both in one device. So I think that would be huge. But now the other thing that I thought about was, I think if Sony would have thought of this first with the PS5 Pro, that thing might have sold like hotcakes. Rumor has it that PS5 Pro sales are slowing down, but people do expect it to pick up when the new Grand Theft Auto game comes out, because since it's not coming to PC for like a year later, the PS5 Pro is going to be the best version of the game. So people are expecting PS5 Pro sales to pick up. But if they would have did this hybrid thing with the PS5 Pro and put multiple storefronts on the PS5 Pro, as Shuhei Yoshida said, they would have been printing money. All they would have had to do was just like stick the bowl out and watch it get filled up with money. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Me, in closing, would I get this hybrid? Depends on how much power it has, and depends on how Microsoft would go about this Game Pass Core thing. If I have to have Game Pass Core in order to play any of my multiplayer games from my Steam library, the answer is no. But if that's not required, that's one step in the right direction. If this thing has the power of a 4070 Ti, that's the second step in the right direction. And lastly, if it is VR compatible, I would probably say yes, I would get one. How much do I think this thing would cost? I think it's going to cost at least $800. But I think it could go as high as $1,200. But even at $1,200, assuming it has the power of a 4070 Ti, and presumably this thing would have AMD's FRS4, their version of DLSS. Presumably this new hybrid would have that technology, so having the raw power of a 4070 Ti along with frame generation and stuff like that, yeah, it would definitely be worth $1,200, because you would be buying a pre-built PC with a console, with the console convenience. That being said, yes, I would lean towards getting one. So I think that such a device, if it takes off and it's successful, I wouldn't be surprised if I see Sony follow suit and do the same thing. It's also rumored this year that Asus is developing an Xbox handheld. I really don't have any thoughts on that. I guess I guess the same principle applies. It's basically a rogue ally with an Xbox interface. Presumably, you would probably be able to dock it and, you know, use it as a console / hybrid. I don't know. But that'll be interesting. I have no interest in getting something like that, but it would still be interesting to see how that plays out. Rumored to come out later on this year. All right, that being said, I'm going to get a few laps of practice in. Looking at these daily races this week, none of them really appeal to me, but this particular track combo, I looked at the leaderboard, and I think the fastest lap was like a 2:05.6. That being said, if I can't get to at least a 2:07, I'm not doing this race, because at that point I would just be throwing rank away. So let me get my shoe on. I almost didn't do this stream today. I got out of work, was tired, the normal, take a nap, yada yada yada, but also a drywall guy was here. About a year ago, one of the pipes busted in the upstairs apartment, and my ceiling was dripping, and it basically messed up the ceiling, the drywall in the ceiling. So the guy came to repair it, and they just decided they're going to tear the whole ceiling out of the bathroom and put a new one in. So I didn't want you guys to hear the drilling, the hammering, and all that stuff, so I wasn't going to do it. But he left before our stream, so. Hold on. I didn't turn on the Hoochie Gidgets. Hold on. I didn't turn on Crew Chief. That is crucial.
Radio check.
And I did not turn on Sim Hub for my base shakers. All right. Let's bring that back up. And let's bring that back up. So this new Xbox, I would be led to believe that it would probably come out, if I had to make a guess, next year, 2027. I'm going to do a couple of laps, and then I have to go check the OBS on my PC in the bedroom to check the health meter on it to see if it's stuttering and stuff, because I'm still experiencing frame drops on my streams.
Your brakes are cold. We need to get some heat into them.
brake markers? I was looking for the numbers. There's the markers. Well, that's one of them. Where's the markers? Not even close.
That time was a 2:10.85.
I gotta find 3 more seconds.
Brake temperatures are fine. Sector 1 time is good. Front tyres. Sector 2 time is okay.
test, I had shaved off 1.5 seconds, which would have made it a 209.3. I would still need to find 2 more seconds on top of that, so probably end up having to watch a track guide video. Okay, folks, let me go check on the computer in the bedroom. All right, I'm seeing 0 drop frames, so it looks like we might be finally back to normal. This is a Mustang challenge. Oh, why not? I mean, I would like to think some of you guys came here to see a race. So let's do a race, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Because I mainly wanted to talk about this new Xbox, because I do think that depending on how this thing plays out, it could be a game changer. I mean, because this would be an interesting move by Microsoft with this coming out with its own handheld this year, and then coming out with a console, you know, sometime after that. Because from the way I understand it, like with like the Rogue Ally or something like that, you can still use it. You can access Steam games, and by way of that, you have access to PlayStation games. Now, if they make an Xbox themed handheld, and you are able to dock it, even if you don't dock it, if you can still access, you know, I'd imagine you would still be able to access the Steam games, and by that method you would still have access to the PlayStation exclusives. Now, if this thing docks to the PC and you can still play those Steam games, that's going to start the ball rolling for what Microsoft's vision is. So maybe when Phil Spencer was talking about reaching 2 million gamers, maybe he wasn't smoking crack like I thought he was. All right. Where would I be? Yeah, so there's a pretty strong possibility that I will be in Split 1. Driver rating is something with this game that I see a lot of people struggling with. I see a lot of LMU videos, stream, what have you, that mention about trying to gain driver rank. And I'm no different. You know, I'm on a quest to get back to silver. And truth of the matter is, I shouldn't be doing this race. But, you know, I might have bored you guys to death for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, talking about this Xbox PC hybrid. So probably should go ahead and do at least one race before I sign off. And once I sign off, I'm going to grab a bite to eat, and then I'm going to jump on the PC in my bedroom and play some Behemoth. Naturally, it looks and runs best on this PC because it has the most power, But because I'm standing right next to the rig, there's been a few times that I banged my fist on this rig. So all right, let's go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. With this game, I'm surprised by how well the Mustang has been received. A lot of people like the Mustang on this game. They like the way it handles, they like the roar.
It exits clear, push. Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. The brakes are cold, be careful. Yellow flag. Sector 1 is green.
Oh my God.
Sector 1 is yellow. We think that Tony has stacked it. Green flag in Sector 1. The track temperature's rising. It's now 28 Celsius.
Cold medium tires, this thing steers like dog shit. Woo!
Heads up. That's the end of the session. P8. Clear right.
See what we got.
Exit's clear. Okay, Clay, we've got 6 minutes to get the job done. Your brakes are cold, let's get some heat on. 5 minutes left. That's a new fastest lap for Kevin, 142.19. V12. Sector 3 is 1.5 seconds off the pace. Your brake temperatures look good. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. To go, 2 minutes. Car clear right. The guy behind has just done a 142.79.
P11.64. Fastest lap for Doran, 139.84. On your clear right. That's
the end of the session, E12.
That time was a 1:42.43.
Well, then, well, oh well. All right. Where is he? Credit where it's due. That Mustang does sound nice. I'm guessing he's done. He's done.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
How many laps? 12 laps. So we will put 14 in here. $14 on the button. That should be enough. Put on the tires. I do feel like I'm giving rank away doing this race, but hell, you know, let's try to have some fun. I mean, I know I'll get back to silver sooner or later, so. Another way I can try to get silver back is to do some of the online championship races. With these GT3s though, like something keeps pulling me to that McLaren. I really like the way it handles.
Right side's clear. Car right side, car clear right. Car
Idiot.
Right side's clear, right, clear right.
Oh, and he damaged my car.
Clear right.
Oh my God.
Okay, Clay, you had a bit of bodywork damage there. Incident in sector 1, yellow flag. We think Hunt and Maxo binned it. Sector 1 is now green.
Idiot Castro.
flag. It looks like Adam has binned it. Now look on your right. Clear right. Right side's clear. We can see Olivier has gone off. Green flag in sector 3. Sector 2, E9. Clay, don't let this guy distract you. The guy in front is Iro. Yellow flag, sector 2. Sector 2 is green. It looks like Niklaus has crashed. Well done, fella. The car in front is Grave.
Damn, he did a 139.
That final day, 1:48.13.
That's 15 minutes. Keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us. That's your quickest lap.
83.
Idiot was about to go for a dive.
Don't be intimidated. Keep it behind you. Watch your rear tyres, they're pretty cold.
Oh shit!
Clear right.
Oof.
Clear right. Come on, Clay. Clear right. Clear right. Flag limits. Quite a lot of aero damage. You might need to come and get it fixed. Car ahead is 7.
Lap 146.37.
Yellow flag. Caution. I think that's now this one off. Green flag. Sector 2. Cold tyres all round.
Lap 143.50.
Okay, Clay. Keep firing under pressure. You'll make a mistake. Right side tyres are cold. Car in front of us is Richard.
That time was a 144.03.
Getting slower and slower each lap.
5. Halfway home, got plenty of fuel.
6.
Pressure on, force a mistake.
Time 1:43.42.
Alright Clay, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. There'll be chances here, let's make sure we can take them. Larsen is gaining on you. The gap is now clear right, clear right. Come on, don't let him get away. flag. Push, push, push. We can catch this car. Car clear right. Car on right side's clear.
That time was a 1:12.45.
There's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. Got cold tyres, so we need to get some heat into them.
Time
Last lap.
4.00.
The next car is Hyro. That's the end of the race. We'll get him next time. Acknowledged. Pit stop requested.
I couldn't overcome that damage from that idiot Castro. Yeah, this is probably not going to end well. That was almost 3 seconds slower than the leader. But I know if that idiot Castro hadn't pinballed me, because he damaged my front end and the right and the suspension on the car, caused me to lose time. I mean, I don't throw wild screaming fits like I used to because I'm used to this by now. Oh well, at least the damage was minimal. Expected you to qualify 10th. Expected you to finish 12th. Did 12. So, hey, could have been a lot worse. So, I would chalk that up as minor abrasions. Yeah, my light. I have never done this track before. So, I guess tomorrow I'll get some practice on it. And we'll go from there. Well, I am going to leave it there. Despite me getting hit by another car, I did have fun that race. The Mustang wasn't bad. wasn't a bad car to drive. It's kind of fun actually. That V8 growl, not bad at all. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and definitely I want to thank everybody who sat through my little Xbox diatribe, monologue, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate it. And let me see, it's Tuesday. Yeah, I guess if you were to hold me at gunpoint, I would probably say I'll be back Thursday. I don't want to make any promises about tomorrow and then I end up oversleeping. But so yeah, let's look for Thursday. All right, folks. Hope to see you then. Have a good evening. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat and then jump on to some Behemoth. Play some more, play some other VR games, so I'm not consumed with sim racing and end up scrambling my brain. All right, I've rambled. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces. See you, everybody. Have a good one.